Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for this session on Azure Backup and Disaster Recovery. So as you are already aware about the tasks that we are gonna cover in this session. So there is just one thing I want to let you know. This session is divided in two parts. In first part backup and in second part we will see the replication options. So okay, without wasting any further time, let me share my screen.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it's
Yes, yes,
visible.
we can see
Okay.
the screen. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, before I start the practical session, as I call it, I want to cover a few things, right? So I would refer you to Microsoft Azure Backup documentation. Visit there, have a look what are all the features which is available with Azure Backup. So if you would look here, primarily, it's something which can support like your Azure environment VMs, and SQL servers as well as your on-prem backups. And what is support is that is something listed, right? Virtual machine, SQL workload, SAP HANA workload, files, right? So this is something supported. Then this secure backup storage. So this is something. These backups are going to a separate storage, right? That's we call it recovery services vault. So you may think of recovery services vault as a chef where you are storing all your backups, right? This is something where you don't have any storage related constant. It's kind of dynamic. Then cloud backup management. So this is something from the perspective of like where you are configuring your own prem machines as well with Azure backup. So that is where you would be required to install MAS agent, Microsoft Azure Recovery Services agent. So that is something you are required to install on your on-prem machines, and then you can configure it. So that's one part. Now let me refer you to another page. So you can find all these document in Azure backup documentation. So for on-prem, as you can see in on-prem, using that Mars agent, you can directly configure your VMs with the Azure Backup, or you can have Data Protection Manager or Azure Backup Server, right? Where you would be required to install these agents, and then you can back up those whole servers to recovery services vault. All this related detail is given there. I would highly encourage to visit Azure backup documentation. That is where you can find all this detail. Now let me cover that architecture part briefly. So if you would see from the architecture perspective, so this is your VM on which you have your VM agent installed. This is Azure backup services, right? And this is your vault. So now, once you configure your VM with Azure Backup, it would install a backup extension if it's a Azure VM, right? Regardless it's Linux or Windows. In that case, like a Linux backup extension or Windows backup extension would be enabled on that machine. If it's an on-prem machine, then you would be required to install that MAS agent. However, here we are talking from the perspective of cloud, right? So when you would initiate a backup, the initial thing what would happen, it would take in a snapshot, right? It would take a snapshot, and this snapshot would store in the same uh, storage account in which your disks are, and then would be transferred from this storage account to the recovery services vault. This is something might take a few hours to 24 hours or so. So until you have this snapshot replicated to your vault, you won't see that recovery point, right? You would see there is an snapshot, but you won't see that recovery point. That recovery point would be created once that snapshot is completely transferred to recovery services vault. So that's one thing. However, here, you would have that snapshot, and in any case, in between, if you need to restore that machine, you can restore it. So that term is something we call it instant restore, where your machine would be restored using that snapshot which is there on your in your in the form of a snapshot in the same storage account. Here, that is by default, that snapshot is there for 2 days. You can change that to between 2 to 5 days. So you can have, like, if you are changing it from 2 to 5, then you can restore, use that instant restore feature for up to 5 days. Okay. Next part is about like on-prem backup. So I would, as I mentioned earlier, I would highly encourage you guys to like go to Azure backup documentation and read about these things. What are all the features which are available? What are the supported scenarios, right? And what is the architecture? Because for any technology you are reading, right, it would be better if you have understanding about how things work behind the scene. Okay. Let me jump into Azure portal. But before that, anyone has any question about the backup or anything which was not clear? Guys, I would suggest if you would speak up, it would be better. You would learn something, and I would also hear like if there is anything which is kind of confusing and I was not able to tell you in that thing in a simple word. Probably next time we can discuss about it in more detail.
No, basic things I get it. Like this will be stored under our own account, and default time is 2. We can extend up to 5.
Exactly. So
Till
the
that, yes.
basic, I mean, if I would summarize it, uh, to configure a backup, you need to have a recovery services vault. Second thing, that recovery services vault must be in the same region. It can't be in any other region to configure backup of any machine, right? It should be in the same region where your virtual machine is. Third thing, you don't need to on Azure machines which are configured using a some marketplace image. That extension or agent would be already there. But if you are migrating any VM from on-prem to cloud, in that case, you would be required to install that agent. Otherwise, that backup configuration would fail. So these are the things you need to keep in mind. There would be one more thing. If you, in case if you want to use that cross region restore, in that case, you would be required to enable that. Because there are chances where like someone else configured that vault and it's disabled. Okay. So the first thing you need to check about where your VMs are stored, in which region your VMs are. So if you would see in my scenario, I have my VMs in East US, right? So now the second thing I need to check where my recovery services vault is located. So let me go to recovery services vault blade. So if you would see, I have multiple recovery services vault. However, I can use only the recovery services vault which are in East US. I can't use Central US recovery services vault to configure backup of these machines. And I can simply show you that. Okay. So this is the recovery services vault blade. I will show you how you can create recovery services vault, but here I'm just showing like you can't use a recovery service vault which is in a different region. So if you would go to backup, I want to use it for Azure virtual machine. Okay, configure backup. I would use the default policy because I'm not intended to use it, but just showing you. So as you can see, you won't see any virtual machine listed here, right? You won't see any machine because there is no machine in that US central region. Okay, so this is something proves that point. You need to have that recovery services vault and VM in the same region. Okay, second thing, how you can, suppose you don't have a recovery services vault, how you can create one. I can show you that quickly. Just click on create on recovery services vault blade. Here you it's very minimum detail you need to provide here. First thing, you need to select your subscription. Second thing, you need to select a resource group. So most of the cases, either you would be having a separate resource group for that. Otherwise, you might have some core subscriptions where you want to store it. Like here, I have this management resource group. If I want to store this new vault here, I can store it here as well. Vault name. So suppose RSV recovery services vault. So this is something again, it would be as per the naming convention or naming standard you have in your environment. So suppose I am using this naming standard, recovery services vault, US Central, or suppose US West, right? 003. Let me look for West US. Okay. Here I just need to review and create, and it would create that recovery services vault. There is not much you would see here. Okay. So meanwhile, it's let it create and move to a recovery services vault blade. So guys, this is the recovery services vault that I created a few minutes back, because this might take a few minutes to get it created. Okay. So meanwhile, from the interest of time, let me move to recovery services vault. Okay, good. It's created. So let me show this everything on this only from the configuration point of view. Okay. Okay. So this is the recovery services vault that I just created. So if you would go and see what are all the options you need to check, right? So first thing, go to properties. Here we would see like subscription detail ID, resource group, right? And then you need to go to backup configuration. Here you can check storage replication type. So it support two type of storage replication. There is one more replication type, zone redundant, but that's something in preview, and it's not enabled for all the regions which are available. It's available for only for few selected region as of now. But in general, you would see either locally redundant or geo redundant. So locally redundant is where your data is replicated within a single location. I mean, to three different locations within a single data center. Geo redundant is something which is on top of it. It's replicated to suppose three different buildings in a same location, and then the same is replicated to another geolocation. So in case if you want to use cross region restore, then oh, I clicked something. Okay, let me close it. Then you need to enable this. By default, you will find it disable. Storage replication type would be by default geo redundant, but here you also need to keep one more thing in mind. If this is something for dev and test, right, then probably to save some cost, right, you would select it as locally redundant. One more thing, once you are created this, put the initial backup, then you won't be able to change this storage replication type without removing all the backups or replication from there. Okay, I believe it's backup only. So in this case, as we also want to see the cross region restore, so what we would do, we would leave it geo redundant and would enable cross region restore. Save. Is it done? Okay, it's saved. Here, as we are already on this page, so let me show you one more thing. Go to security setting, right? Here you can see this soft delete option. So by default, you would see this soft delete option. This soft delete is nothing but an additional layer where you can suppose for any reason, like either by mistake or something, or someone else removed any backup and you want to restore it, right? You want to revert that removal process. So that is where you would get that removed backup available for 14 days. Okay. So this is by default enable. And in any case, if you want to disable it, you can disable it, right? Because this is also something which would have some cost involved. Let me cancel it. Anyone has any question about this screen?
No, I think we're good with this. Yes.
I think you should have. Okay. So
Yes.
as you would see, there is one option, right? Have you configured multi-factor authentication?
Yeah, we did that in our environment.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is nothing. If you would select it yes, then it would give you one more option where you can put some pin code, right? And with that pin, like why wherever you are making some critical changes from backup configuration, you would be prompt for that pin. So it's that only. And basically you would see this in use for when you have this Azure backup configured for your on-prem environment. So let me cancel it. Okay, I forgot one thing. This recovery services vault is in US based and our machines are in US East, so I won't be able to use it. So let me move to another recovery services vault. So this is the one. Let me quickly check if it has that cross region restore enabled. I think not because I just created before this. Okay, let me enable it quickly. Okay, it's done. Let me go back. So now we have our VMs, we have our recovery services vault, and it's in the same region. Now the second thing is we need to configure backup. So you can do that from 2-3 places. The first is on the VM blade itself. So let me show you that from that blade first. So you are on VM blade for which you want to enable this backup, right? So go to where you would find it under operations. Okay, so go to operations, backup. Okay, this VM already have backup enabled. Okay. Okay. So now on this page, it would give you an option. If in case if you don't have recovery services vault, you can go ahead and create that recovery services vault initiate that recovery services vault creation from here as well, or you can select an existing recovery services vault. So in this case, I have these two in US East, so I want to select this one. So it's selected. Now the second thing, if you would see, it's showing me this default policy. In case you don't want, and in most of the cases you won't use this default policy, but instead create a new policy, right? So from where you can create that policy, for that you again have multiple options, but the preferable should be either from that Azure backup blade or recovery services vault blade, right? So let me open a new tab, a duplicate tab. So ideally, I should have configured it like before going to VM and configuring for backup. Recovery services vault, RSPUS used. Okay, go to back. Oh no. Okay, I was on right blade. This is the new one, so that's why. Okay, so as you would see the backup goal, you would go to your recovery services vault that you have. Then you would see click on backup. You can either click on backup from this middle of this screen, or you can look for the same. You will see that under getting started. So you can click on backup here from here as well. So once you click on that, it would give you another option where your workload is running, right? So that is where you need to select it. It's running Azure Stack. So Azure Stack is nothing but you might be aware those what we call it, Hyper-V. Oh, sorry, not Hyper-V. hyper-converged infrastructure kind of thing, right? So it's very similar to that. You would get a Azure Stack box, you would install it in on-prem and then configure it. So it's that. It would be considered kind of on-prem, right? And then on-prem. So here we want to configure it for Azure. So select Azure. Then what do you want to wake up? You would select that option like virtual machine, file share, SQL Server, HANA. So here we want to configure it for virtual machine. Then click on configure backup. Here you would be prompted to create a policy or use the default one. Suppose I want to create a new policy. Click on create new policy. Suppose it's a daily backup. Frequency daily, you can select the time, right? You can select the time zone, whatever it is. But here you need to keep one thing in mind. For Azure VMs, the maximum frequency for a day could be a single day, once in 24 hours. For on-prem, it could be like twice a day. So this is as of today. This might change in future. So another option which I was talking about, that snapshot. So this is that option, instant restore, which gives you an option for instance restore, because that machine is being restored from snapshot. So it would be pretty quick, right? Again, you can see the same. If you would hover the mouse here, right, it would show you the same description. And now retain instant recovery snapshot. So as I said, it could be, I mean, you can configure it from 2 to 5 days. By default, it's 2 days. So if I would change it to 1, it would give me an error. Why there is no error? I'm not sure if I was wrong, but I would check that. For 6 day, it's giving me an error. Okay, sorry, my bad. It would be 1 to 5, between 1 to 5. Okay. So I would leave it to. Then you can select the retention period. By default, you would see 180 days. Suppose I want to keep it for 3 days only. Oh, sorry. Again, my mistake. Retention period for Azure VM could be 7 to 1, minimum 7 days, right? And maximum could be anything. You can see that, right? Minimum 7 days and maximum could be 4 times 9. So suppose I want to keep it for 7 days. Retention for weekly backup point, retention monthly, retention yearly. So again, these options are something which is per your organization's disaster recovery need, right? Or disaster recovery need, or data need. Based on that, you can select these options, where if you would select these options like retention of weekly backup point, retention of monthly backup point, retention of yearly backup point. So whatever time you would select, it would retain that. And that is something, as you have seen here, like was up to 4 times 9, right? So I'm not selecting any of these, right? Now, Azure Backup Resource Group, optional. The default formatting name, Azure Backup Services, Azure Backup Source, yeah. Create a separate resource group to store instant recovery point to manage. Okay, so this is something where like for the instant restore, to store that those recovery services point, it creates a separate resource group. So I'm leaving it default. I'm not changing that. Click OK. And once you are done, now you are good. You can enable backup for any machine which is there in that US East region with this recovery services fault. So this is from the configuration side. Now, if you want to like enable that backup from this page only, right, you can click add and you would see the VMs which are there. As you can see, I have 3 VMs in US East, but here it's showing me 2 only. The reason being one another VM is that U01 is already configured with some other bolt. That's why it's not showing me. So one VM can be configured only once. So that's another takeaway from here. Suppose I want to configure the backup for this first VM only. So it would validate, install that extension, and would initiate the initial backup. Okay. So as you can see, it's doing the same. So that was one thing. Another thing is, okay, let me go to, okay, suppose in future you want to add additional backup policies or want to make any changes in the backup policies, from where you can do that. There are 2 places from here where you can do that. Okay. Okay, guys. Once this meeting would end in 40 minutes, then we would take a break of 5 minutes, and then we would join back. So from here, you would under the recovery services bolt blade, you would see this option under protected items. Okay, sorry. Under manage, you would see an option backup policies. So that is where you can manage your backup policies. So this is the backup policy which I created earlier. So in case if I want to make any changes in that backup policy, I can go there and then modify it. So that's one thing. Another thing is from where I can see about the backup, like what are all the VMs which are protected under this recovery services vault. For that, you need to go to under protected item, this option. There you would see this backup items. Click on that, and here you would see, right, another option which is there. Let me move to another tab. There is something called Azure Backup. This is only backup. Interesting. Anybody can remind me that service name? I think it's Azure Backup. Okay, I'm not able to recall it, but let me go to Recovery Services Vault. I believe there it would be a pop-up. It of backup try ever. Okay, backup center actually. So we can, but again, why it's not coming up even? Okay, as you can see, this backup center, and it's in preview as of now. So we can go there. It's a centralized management point to manage all your backups, but keep in mind it's in preview, so things might change a bit, right, once it would be in GA. So from here you can again, there is one more thing that you need to keep in mind. The policies and the protected item and whatever is there under that recovery services vault, that's only for that particular vault. But with backup center, you can manage everything centrally. Whatever recovery services vault you have, whatever policies you have, you can manage all of them from this single pane of blade, right? So here, if you would go to backup policies, you would see all your backup policy. As you can see, like you can see multiple default policies. And if you would see here under this bolt column, there are different bolts. So from here, you want to make changes in any of them, with regardless whatever recovery services vault it belongs, you can make those changes from here, right? Anyone has any question so far? Okay, good. So that was one thing. Another is this backup instances. So similar to those policies, you can centrally see what are all backups are configured. If we would see this VM is configured with a different vault, this is configured with a different vault. The other thing is the reason. I mean, in any region, any VM, any vault, everything would be visible here. From here, you can monitor these things as well. You can create reports. You can see compliance. As you can see, all those options are given here. Now, think from the perspective you want to restore a VM, right? So how we would do that? So for that, suppose for this VM EU01, I had created a backup earlier. So let me move there. Right. So if you would go to this, you would see like as I was talking about a snapshot in Vault, right? So even for this one, I have that instant restore configured for 2 days. So it has an snapshot and Vault as well, where the snapshot is still there just because that instant uh, uh, restore is configured for 2 days. Otherwise, it would have been deleted. Like if you would see for the other ones, it's removed, and we have the recovery point available as a vault only. Okay, so the major difference would be like where you have this snapshot available, the restore procedure would be much faster than when you are restoring from vault. So if you want to like initiate the restore, what you need to do, go there, either select one, choose restore VM from top, right? Or if you want to do the file recovery, you can do that from here, or go to these these three dots, click here. First, let me show you file recovery. Click on file recovery. So in case of file recovery, you would see this page, right? And it would give you an option to download an script. So what this script would do, once you would run this script to any of the VM within that same region, it would map that particular backup to that drive. I mean backup as a drive to that VM, and then you can choose whatever files you were looking for. So this would be the file level restore. Okay, and once you are done, you can remove it. Otherwise, I believe there is some time during which it would be removed automatically. I am unable to recall that period. I think it's 2 days or so, 2 or 3 days, I believe. If you won't unmount it after that 2 or 3 days time, it would be unmounted by default. So this was from file recovery perspective. From the VM recovery perspective, click on restore VM. Then you would get these two options, create new. So again, with create new, we would be required to give this machine a name, right? Restore type, create a new virtual machine name, resource group. Here you need to select the virtual network, right? Subnet. Staging location is nothing, where like during the restore, it would store the related metadata. So you can select any of these two. So I'm not going to initiate this restore, but from here, I believe the process is pretty clear, right? So this is from the create new perspective. In case of if you are replacing the existing one, here you need to keep a few things in mind. One, if you would select this replace existing, it would create an snapshot of your existing drive. It would keep it, right? And at the same time, it won't remove your existing drive. It would leave it as is in that storage account where your disks are. It would simply replace your existing drive with this restored backup drive. Okay. Anyone has any question on this?
Yep. So the previous data, what will happen to the previous data?
Nothing. It would remain
Okay.
there. As I mentioned, it would
Okay.
create a snapshot, right? That's one thing.
Mhm.
Another thing is it would simply detach that drive, leave it in that storage account, and create a new drive from this backup or snapshot and attach it.
Okay, okay, completely new one. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. And you can, like, at a later stage, you can go ahead and look for that drive and remove it. Otherwise, whenever you would do that cleanup, you would find it as an orphan drive, right? So that's something part of cost saving you must be doing in your environment. So guys, this first part of this session, I am just
Okay, I think no answer from anyone till now.
less than 1 minute. I think this meeting would close because it seems
Okay,
like
okay,
few
sure.
people are on phone as well.